Okay, so this is my overwintered hive, my hive from last year. I'm going to go into it, see how it is, see what the queen's doing, see how much brood I have and everything. So before I open up, I'm suited up, but I'm going to put my hood on so I don't get stung in the face. Put my glasses on first so I can actually see what I'm doing. Zip up, make sure nothing's exposed. Put my gloves on. I have friends who do it without gloves. I tried it once and I just don't like it. I didn't like the feel of the bees on my hands, so I'm going to put gloves on. Okay, take off the bricks. This is just so the wind doesn't blow off the outer cover. This is the outer cover. And this is the inner cover. I'm just going to take this off. See if there's many bees on the other side. A few. Now I put a honey super on to see if there was going to be a nectar flow and maybe I could get some honey this spring. I'm going to open up and just see if they're actually started working on any of the frames at all. So I'm going to use my hive tool and pop out the middle frame and just see if anything's going on with it. There are bees on it, but it doesn't look like they've started drawing out any comb on it at all. No. So I'm going to just take the honey super off so then we can get down into the lower boxes. Take this off and put this out. Now, these are called 2 deep supers, and this top super should have lots of food stores in it, possibly some brood, eggs, larvae, and let's see if we can actually get a frame out. They like to cement everything together. Frame out. And actually, I got this new gadget this week. I'm going to try. Called a Hive holder. Frame up, or a frame holder. Put this on and pull it up. So there's some capped honey on the top. Capped honey and some pollen on this one. So I'm just going to set this frame aside so I actually have room to move in the next ones. So you have to kind of pop the frames so you can actually get into them. And I'm just going to go through them one by one and see what they're all up to. Hopefully we can find the queen. I don't know, there's a lot of bees in here, so. Okay, so here's another frame. This frame has actually brood in it. I can actually see some larvae that hasn't been capped yet. And this side here has lots of pollen and some more capped brood. Well, brood on the bottom, it hasn't been capped yet, but I can see the larvae in the cells. You can't zoom in, right? So I'm going to put this back because this has brood in it, so I don't want it to get chilled with the wind. I'm going to pop that back in. Actually, I'm just going to go through the next ones. Okay, so this one here, you can see, has all capped brood. Let me blow the bees out of the way. So that whole big dark patch right there, that's all capped brood. So all the babies are growing in there. And the other side also has capped brood. You can see some of them. Some of the brood sticks up like that. Those are drone cells. Those are the male bees are in drone cells. Cells are a little bigger. So here is all, I don't know if some of the larva is inside there. And then the bees will cap that over. Move them out of the way. They're actually pretty calm today. They're not making a whole lot of noise. And some of them, this guy is doing, it's a dance that they tell the other bees where to find all the nectar and pollen. Let's see if we can find one. That one just finished doing it. It's called the waggle dance. And you can see they start moving around in circles, trying to tell the other bees, here's this one here. They try to tell the other bees exactly where to find the pollen and the nectar. It's all based on the sun, and then they know where to navigate to get to it. I'm going to pull out the next frame. And here's more capped. This whole frame is almost all capped brood. And this one too, sort of capped brood, and there's pollen in between. I'll just keep going through. And more capped brood. This one has lots of drone cells on the bottom and some up towards the top. This side too. See all the drones on the bottom. Trying to see if I can see the queen at any point. Okay. Alright, so there's some queen cups on the bottom. They keep those there just in case they need to make an emergency queen. A couple more over here on this side. I'm not going to do anything with those. I'm just going to leave them be. is just sort of their emergency backup. So there's a whole nother, lots of brood. Not as much brood on this one. There's a lot of pollen in between. I think with the weather, there's another queen cup. A couple of them kind of built kind of strange. The weather was just really weird. They pulled in lots of pollen. The whole hive was filled with pollen. Then all of a sudden it got cool again. So now the queen's sort of laying eggs wherever she can find space. So this whole frame, lots of larvae that hasn't been capped yet. They're busy capping the corner, but there's all larvae in there. Let me see if by chance the queen would be on this frame. It looks like a newer frame. I don't see her. Let's look on this side. There's more. I know she's in here just because there's eggs and there's larvae and capped brood. Just that with so many bees, it's hard to spot her. And she, oh, there she is. So she's not a marked queen. I had a marked queen last year. For some reason or other, the bees didn't like her or she wasn't doing her job. They made a new one, so now this one's not marked. And actually, once you learn how to spot them, it's pretty easy. She's got a much longer body than the rest. I'm not sure where she went now. She kind of went right here. So she's busy. I'm going to put this frame back now. I'm just going to be really careful with this frame because I certainly don't want anything to happen to her. And that'll just throw this whole hive off. So I'm actually not going to look at any of these frames because she's on the other side and I certainly don't want to do anything where I wind up by crushing her or anything. So I'm just going to leave those frames. I'm going to push these all back. Hopefully not crushing anybody. Let's give them a few minutes to get out of the way. This one here has pollen in her pollen baskets, right on the back of her legs. Beautiful orange pollen. It's probably, I don't know what it would be, some daffodils or maybe some, probably not dandelion, that would be yellow. So I'm going to try to put this back. Sometimes it gets really tight, but we'll try to get this frame back in. Push the other frames over. Just kind of push it in. This one here has got probably dandelion. This one has yellow on its legs. And I'm just going to gently, firmly push them in. Now I'm just going to try to center the frames a little bit more. This way and this way. Now I'm going to actually go into the bottom super. So I'm going to take this top one off. I'm going to break it open because they glue up everything. Oh, see all the yellow and orange? Look at all the beautiful pollen coming in. So now that it's a nice sunny day today, they're out gathering as much as they can. Once these supers start getting full, they get really heavy. So I'm going to try to get it off, hopefully not bother too many. Just going to put it over here. Now I know my queen's in there, so I want to be extra careful with that. So now I'm going to go through here and see what's going on in this bottom super. Take one frame out, and it's completely empty, which is actually good because that top super was pretty full. So it's good that there's space so that when they get totally full up top, the queen has a place to go and lay more eggs. Now this is a plastic frame that I put in. Earlier in the season there was a lot of honey in here. It's called honey bound. So I took out some of the capped honey and I put in some extra blank frames. Now you can see these are plastic. My old frames were actually wire. This is actually plastic with a wax coating on it. But since it's different than what they had before, they don't seem to want to work on it. So what I'm going to do actually is swap this one out. And I got some, I wired up some frames, which is actually, this is beeswax. It's a little more natural than the plastic. So I'm going to swap out and put this one back in. And hopefully they'll be able to draw it out. And when I say draw it out, so I want to show you, this is foundation. The bees have done nothing to it. It's just man-made. It's made with these, stamped with these hexagonal shapes for the bees. And then what the bees do is they will make their own wax, and they'll use this as a guide, and this is comb that's been drawn out by the bees. So that's a beautiful frame, and hopefully within a week or so this will look the same way. So I'm going to put this one in. Well, I put that one in. And I'm just going to leave this one here, and whatever bees don't fly off when I'm done, I'll just brush them off towards the hive. So now we're going to go into the next frame, see what's going on here. My hope is that this bottom frame is pretty empty since the top frame is so full. And this is another one. There's a little bit of capped honey in the corners, but that's okay. That's what they need to eat. Some pollen that they're packing in this one. Okay, so here's a frame with some capped brood. Now this brood is probably older than the ones on top, so they'll probably be hatching soon, so there'll be lots of even more bees. Here's another queen cell on this frame. But again, that was there last week, so I'm not going to touch that. I mean, I haven't seen any swarm cells, so I think we're okay. And they're actually really quiet. I mean, there's probably, I don't know, 50, 60, 70,000 bees here, but they're actually very quiet. I think they don't seem to mind when I'm here. They're just busy doing their own thing. These frames, I can tell when I take them out, they're very light. This was all cat brood. You can see there's just a few on the end that haven't hatched out yet. So this, once they hatch out, the bees go back, clean it out. Now it'll be ready for her to lay more eggs in it. Okay, there's more queen cups on the bottom. And